Welcome back to Impulse Plays. I'm Crazy Carl Winter here with Ben Landers talking about some magical cards. How you doing again, Ben?
Doing fantastic.
You excited for
Glad
this
to be back.
squee on squee mirror match?
This is awesome. You don't often see the battle of 8 squeeze, but I'm excited for
This is more squeeze than I think we can handle, but we're gonna do our best. It's a lot of recursion, but we're gonna take a look at Chris's survival madness list here, and it's got 4 squeeze, which is something we were both surprised about. What's the purpose of that? Do you think?
it. I mean, obviously it plays the pivotal role on with survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
Continuing to generate that advantage. But normally you just see one, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
I like the added bonus here of just like continuously pumping wild mongrels to some absurd points and
Mm-hmm.
not really losing any card advantage for doing so.
Right.
Al- Also bonuses on like waterfront bouncers. Like you can survival activation plus pump plus bounce things if you have
Mm-hmm.
enough squeeze, I suppose.
True.
It also looks like it's built towards this red pitch sideboard strategy.
Which is pretty sweet. Yeah, Caven, not something you see often, but it's exile a card and deal 2 damage to all creatures. That's pretty sweet. It might hit players too. I don't remember, but either way. And Wasteland, I feel is ambitious in our 2 color non-allied deck, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, it's also playing. I mean, also playing the days package. Just trying to put your opponent off kilter, I suppose.
Man, this deck just keeps delivering. I keep on seeing wild thing after wild thing. Not wild mongrels, but other things that are wild. That's excellent. And I think his choice of basics is pretty on spot. Like, there's not a lot of synergy with the 7th edition lands, but they just look great.
They are beautiful. They are beautiful.
Yeah, remind
And
me
yeah,
to find a foil
even
Trevor's Ruins for Chris at some point, because that'd be nice to have in there too.
well, you'll be happy to know that you're right about Caven. 2 damage to each creature and each player.
Man, I'm so good at this game. Let's show how good I am by talking about the really amazing deck I played, which is Dredge at Home.
Uh,
We've got some squeeze in this one as well, along with some Ashen Ghouls and Icarids and Necrovican Horrors. This deck is based around value. Like it's
in squee value in general.
it really is. Like, and the Squee deck having one intuition I feel is wrong. Like, I don't know how do you think about, but what do you think about switching out some number of cards for more intuitions? I feel like that's got to be good, right?
Yeah, that's got to be good. Like intuition for triple squee seems kind of insane, or really any of your
Yeah, yeah,
graveyard
yeah. I mean, you can
choose.
intuition for zombie infestation too, like then Cabal therapy to force it out. Like, there's a lot going for it
Right? Yeah,
there.
intuition for therapy is also disgusting.
Hmm.
And it seems like it's just a different deck when you have that zombie infestation in play versus when.
Yeah, it does some very different things. I guess it kind of depends on like what kind of draw engines you've gotten into and things like that. But I'm excited to see how these decks play out. So let's just hop right into it. We've got Chris on the left playing Survival Madness, and me, Crazy Carl, on the right playing Dredge Weirdness. Um,
Full
I
on
yeah,
dreadful.
yeah. I have often talked about Madness wanting to have Wild Mongrel on turn 2 because that's just the best card in the deck, but Survival of the Fittest is pretty good too.
Yeah, making a chain into all of your madness creatures is
Hmm.
an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, that's something I've really enjoyed a lot. This is we're recording this in June of 24, and I really enjoyed playing Basking Root Wall of my Survival of the Fittest in my trade survival Feb deck.
Oh yeah. Notice this Dredge at Home list also playing your signature Psychotog.
Yes, yes, Psychotog is pretty sweet in this deck. And I did not have the foresight to play with Odyssey Basics. I'm playing with Tempest because that's what I had sitting around. Um,
Rough.
that could be a mistake. I feel like I'm helped out a little bit with the Threshold lands, which are from Odyssey, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that fits into the casting of things. Did resolve a turn 2
Yeah,
zombie infestation, which seems pretty good. They didn't make any
that does.
zombies. That seems pretty loose.
The zombie infestation versus this wild mongrel on turn 2 draw you're talking about.
Yeah, we're just gonna discard all of our cards. Ooh, and the one of
The
intuition,
intuition. What do
pretty
you get here?
good. Well, I think you get
Oh no.
squeeze. There is a wonder in the deck too, and wonder is quite good. That said, Chris has his own wonder. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
go
so I go get
choose.
the wonder. Yep, the shoe squeeze are good. I think the
I
correct move
guess
is giving wonder, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
let's
you're
squeeze
just
this
gonna
back.
discard it anyway, but it
Exactly.
at least
At least it doesn't come
turn
back and get another half a zombie, right?
right.
Yeah, Chris, I think correctly gives me the wonder. I dropped the intuition out on my turn, not realizing he had days in his deck. That would have been ungood
I
for
got
me.
blown out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, so we're all good. Um, so Chris looks like he had a I don't know if he had a survival in his hand. I wasn't paying attention to his hand, but he has one now, and it
Looks like
looks
he's
like
also got the one of Gilded Drake, which might be at its worst against Dredge at home.
yeah, I can just upgrade my own creature. Okay, he's going beat down, so he's getting out arrogant worm, um, appropriately foil to be discarded to the foil wild mongrel, which I like that synergy there.
Oh, this deck is so pretty.
It is. Oh, we got some careful study. What do you discard the careful study, Carl? What do you discard? Pretty sure you're supposed to discard wonder and a squee, but I have a bad feeling. Oh,
What's that?
that's an Ashen
Action
Ghoul and an Icarid.
Nice.
Um, Ashen Ghoul comes back to play if it has or three creatures above it at the beginning of your upkeep. I currently am reading it because I don't remember how that card works, and realize that by discarding two of my creatures to my zombie infestation, I will get back my Ashen Ghoul next turn, which will be pretty sweet. And it
That's
has haste, which is nice, but you do have to spend mana to get it back, which is slightly awkward. Um, Whereas Icarid is similar in that you can get it back during your upkeep, but you exile a black card from or black creature from your graveyard. Has no mana cost, but it also sacrifices at the end of the turn. Um, Ashen Ghoul not at its best against 4/4s with its 3/1 stat line.
that is a true statement.
That said, if I was good at this game, I would probably discard my Wonder along with a Squee, bring back my Ashen Ghoul, and then attack with my Ashen Ghoul next turn with Flying, which Arrogant Worm, not so good at blind creatures with Flying without a Wonder in play.
That's a good point. I wonder if that'll come up.
Ah, I like what you did there. Um, and I can get the threshold with this. I don't think this Cabal Pit's really going to play any role in this game other than doing me damage because like all of his creatures get bigger. It's like I can't Cabal Pit anything. It gets wastelanded. I guess that's pretty good for me. It gets me close to the threshold. I guess. Okay, Chris drops out the survival. He's going to be kind of far behind. Oh, I have a circular logic for it, and I get a zombie. That's
Wow,
that is not where you want to be as Chris. That is not where you want to be.
that's pretty messed up.
I'm rereading Ashen Ghoul because this is my first time playing the deck. I was really excited to put it together. I got all the cards sleeved up, and then we had a play session last weekend. I'm like, I'm playing Dredge at home.
Ooh. What do you think of these zombie tokens?
I think they are drawn by a master. Clearly, the art depicts a depth and skill heretofore unseen on the modern art scene.
Mm-hmm.
Ben drew them, by
Well
the way.
stated.
All right, I crash in for 7 with flying. Whether or not I realize my creatures have flying is debatable, but I do get in, dropping into 13. I've got at least a couple more zombies kicking in. I've got the Krovikan Horror, which is a pre-modern staple. If it's in your graveyard with a creature above it, you get to bring it back to your hand at the end of the turn. So by discarding a Krovikan Horror and a Squee to your zombie infestation, you basically get half a free zombie every turn. Um,
Yeah, you get to pick, basically pick the order they get discarded into each turn.
exactly. So like next turn, I'm going to discard in the second main phase the Squee and the Krovikan Horror, getting another zombie, and then bringing back the Krovikan Horror to then discard again on my turn. So
Man,
it's a heck of a
4/4
combo.
tramps are usually super powerful, but
Mm-hmm.
against the horde of 2/2s,
Not so great, yeah. Especially when they fly because they can just ignore it.
if you're on the madness side here, how do you get out of this?
You don't get out of it by playing Gilded Drake. I can tell you that much. Um,
We haven't seen Gilded Drake hit play, so that seems
he's
correct.
doing the right thing so far, yeah, for sure. discarding some lands. I feel like I probably discard that Gilded Drake. Maybe not, because you can discard to
Sure, hold
survival.
it for survival. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, clearly it's a skill issue here, and Chris not drawing a second survival of the fittest. Because if he was able to resolve that, that'd be much easier for him. So he can take that back to the drawing board and work on that himself. But I do the aforementioned squeak press Krovikan Horror to get an extra zombie.
he needs his own circular logics.
He does. He's got Daze. Daze is such a good card. I bring back my squeeze. Good job, Carl. So I've got 11 on the board. 11, notably not 13. Did I have another black? No, I didn't have another black creature. I'm like, could I have brought back the Ichrid? I could not.
For 5.
That said, no, I had one card in my hand at the end of his turn, so I couldn't make another zombie.
And you brought the horror back, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Maybe I don't bring the horror back, and I could have exiled it to Ichrid. That might have been better. I did not see that at the time, but yeah, okay. And Chris scoops it up, yeah, because there's too many zombies. So we're going to game 2. I think we're going to see sideboarding after the end of the match. As I recall, I brought in Null Rods because getting Tormod scripted would suck.
Just like, do you just preemptively board those in every match?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Chris has a mulligan. I keep my 7. Let's see what Chris has got working with. He's got a Cave In, which is pretty good against zombie infestation zombies.
That does.
But he does not have anything to pitch to it. So yeah, I think he correctly puts it on the bottom. He's got a Naturalize to deal with my infestations, which is pretty good. And a counterspell. Okay, yeah, that's pretty strong. I'm not going to be able to do anything relevant, I don't think, with that counterspell kicking out. Beautiful Ice Age Underground River. Love it. Beautiful Apocalypse Yawgmothos. Also love it. No shade against the new bordered ones. It's just, these hit differently. Okay, so he's passing to keep his counterspell up. I think I agree with that, because I don't have a lot of threatening spells.
But they are.
That is one of them. That shuts off all of his graveyard hate. Okay, so Chris does not have graveyard hate. Okay, good talk.
Right. Well, you don't know that. You don't know what's in his board.
I know that now because he did not counterspell it. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you counterspell it and hope to draw like the Phyrexian Furnace or whatever, right? I could be wrong, but
he's making a move now.
It's like a careful study. Yep. Oh, I see a Basking Walla. He's gonna get to live the dream.
Hopefully, he gets back to 2 blue because your other bombs could be right behind.
I have faith in him. He can do it. Conversely, he drops that survival and just gets there. Yeah, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have Mana Leak. He's got a Waterfront Bouncer, it looks like. Man, Survival of the Fittest is a hell of a magic card.
Okay.
So Chris basically gets to draw a free card, drop his survival out. I'm playing Dimir, so blue and black not known for their ability to destroy enchantments in pre-modern. So I make the decision to basically get a free 2 points off of Sickening Dreams. That's Sickening Dreams. It's cast it as an additional cost, discard X cards, deal X damage to each creature and each player. So I discard Ashen Ghoul and a Squee. Notably not discarding 2 more cards, so I don't get the Ashen Ghoul into play. So I will get my Squee back, but yeah, I'm low on cards. I don't have any engine going. Yeah, bring my Squee back. All by myself. .gif is what's playing for this Ashen Ghoul. Breakthrough for 3. So breakthrough is a sorcery where you draw 4 cards and then discard down to X, where X is 3 in this case. But it looks like Chris is going to counterspell it, rightfully so. Yeah, that's a lot of cards.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it would let me fill up my graveyard with stuff and bring back the Ashen Ghoul, which is not quite where Chris wants me to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking back on it, I think my sideboarding plan was Null Rods in, Sickening Dreams in, and then some number of garbage cards out. I can't remember exactly what I got. Probably like Circular Logics. Those are hard to use, but I felt pretty good about getting this Null Rod out in turn 2. Like, That seems like a really good thing for the to play against the graveyard hate, because it just shuts, like, all the common graveyard hate in pre-modern is artifact based. So um
Yeah, what's like the I guess Planner Void is the only
mhm. Notably not something a
pseudo
survival deck
realm.
will play. Yep.
Yeah, only in black, which is not a super common color.
Yeah, there's not a lot of black decks that want to play it too. Like, you've got like the contamination deck, but that plays Nether Spirit. You've got survival decks, they play Squee. You've got
Right.
Rock, which plays a recurring nightmare. Really, you've just got like like black based aggro decks. Oh, he gets to do the thing. He gets to do the thing. He got to discard a basking roll into survival, and he gets cast it for free. That's so good. So he gets his
Okay, get
first
the skill
Squee.
we going.
Yep, that's pretty strong. Does he continue his surviving? I don't think he has anything yet. Let me take a look at his deck list. Um, yeah, there's no cheap
Don't
blue
you
creatures he can get. He doesn't have like,
want to chain out another root wallet here?
he can't unless he has another green source. Unless he has another root wall in his hand, obviously, but I don't think he does. Yeah, it looks like
He's
he
got another.
passes. Well, no, he has one more
Oh,
green source to discard the Squee,
oh,
but not to
uh,
discard the subsequent Bristle back to root wall. Yeah.
right.
Well, I play a land and look at Chris, and looks like I don't do anything relevant. That doesn't seem conductive to winning the game.
Hmm.
So I got a
Interesting.
breakthrough for
Activating
one. Interesting.
survival
So this breakthrough here, I think, is aimed at filling up the graveyard so I can get that freaking Ashen Ghoul into play.
turn.
Okay, so Chris
Yeah,
lets it
what are you
resolve, notably, which is good for me.
think to retain in hand here?
Uh, I don't think this deck really cares about keeping anything. It does not care about anything specifically when it's all non-creatures that are discarded. That is
Looks
not
like just
optimal. That is a very big skill
on
issue.
hand.
Like, I really should be discarding creatures here,
Yeah,
not non-creatures. That is a big error on my part with my
jeez.
one card in hand. I know it's just poor play. It's just poor
We
play.
got another survival activation, pitching squee at the end of turn here.
Yep, and he gets his wild mongrel. Okay, I like that. I like that.
About to get wilded on.
Very much so. Um, I'd have to go back and look at some lists. I feel like some Survival Madness lists play a splash of red for anger, which would be real strong here.
Mhm.
But you usually have to play like a Croson Tusker or a Yavimaya Ranger to then be able to get that mountain along with the Wood Hills. But um,
Oh,
it would just,
didn't pick up, unfortunately.
ooh, good catch. I did not catch that. Yeah, yeah, I don't. With, I have one card in my hand and
Yeah,
two
you did have
creatures in
a
my
4/4
graveyard.
ramp.
I
Oh,
don't see
there,
much
there.
coming out of there.
We,
Yeah.
we remembered it. Okay,
Oh,
there
okay.
you
Yeah,
go.
okay. So we backtracked a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Good recon. Good recon. I bring my squee back masterfully.
Uh, mhm.
Mm.
Looks like opting to just put Mongrel in play, leave blue mana up. Don't
Which
hate
seems
that.
good. Yeah. And I activate my Cephalid Coliseum. It's a land that has an ability that unlocks when you have 7 cards in your graveyard to pay a blue and sack it. Draw 3, discard 3. So I discard Squee and Krovikan Horror, but notably that is 2 creatures, not
Mhm.
3. And I need
And
3
the
for the
horror
Ashen Ghoul.
back up to your hand.
The horror does come back to my hand, but notably there is no zombie infestation play, and I gestured to my null rod saying it's super good, and Chris does not seem to care, which is a little bit rude. Like, I spent a lot of time and frankly store credit at Card Kingdom getting those null rods. I feel like Chris should respect him a little bit more.
Yeah. Well,
But I don't know. We've discussed this before. Chris is a really cool dude. Like, he's really nice. He makes really good oatmeal cookies. I can forgive this slight this time.
I mean, maybe you're thinking a little bit too highly about your tech here, Carl.
I don't think you're thinking highly enough of my tech. So where does that leave us? That leaves us at agreeing to disagree, and me getting attacked for a lot of
You're
damage
getting
here.
attacked a bunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he have an arrogant worm here? Oh boy,
Yeah.
that is
Like
not
a
what you want to see.
like a
Yep,
he survivaled
beautiful.
for the worm. Now he's discarding it to pump up the wild mongrel and play.
Okay, I was like, why is he keeping a blue up? He has a careful study. That makes more sense. So he gets to crash in for 4, make a 4/4, and then draw some cards. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Let's see if he resolves this correctly. Notably, just for you new folks in pre-modern, when you cast a spell, it does not go to your graveyard until it is finished resolving. So with something like Factor Fiction or Careful Study or Breakthrough, where you have to discard cards, you discard those cards before your spell goes to the graveyard. It sounds pedantic, it sounds stupid, but there are cards that care about the graveyard. Cough, cough, Phyrexian Furnace. So resolving your spells correctly is often very, very important. So just keep that in mind.
Pitches Waterfront Bouncer and Squee. I feel like Waterfront Bouncer is really good against zombies.
It's not good against Zombie Infestation. It's good against Ashen Ghoul. Oh, I got some creatures this time. That's exciting. And I think it was that for
Like
4 I
a
just gestured there? Okay,
bit of
so
a board wipe there.
yeah, but he can discard his hand and keep that Wildmonger in play. Conversely, he has Survival of the Fittest and just doesn't care. And I'm at 7, so I
Yeah.
yeah, that is not good. So I get to so the way I discarded my cards, I put 2 Krovikan Horrors underneath my squeeze so I can bring them both back. I don't know that's correct. Yeah, I decided not to because I want to put that Ashen Ghoul in play. But that could be an error. Um, yeah, unsure.
And
More wastelands. I'm surprised he's not
Error,
wastelanding my underground reverse. Like, just take me
error
out
and
the
not
mana.
bring them back.
I'm sorry.
You're saying it's an error to potentially not bring them back to hand?
No, I think that was correct. But it's debatable. There's nothing to do with the horrors, so like it's kind of whatever. But yeah, looks like Chris
Right.
is gonna take me off a few lands here. Wasteland is such a good card in this format.
That makes sense.
Hashtag reprinted into modern.
We don't talk about modern here.
We'll talk about things that are before modern explicitly. All right, so Chris goes for a survival onto an arrogant worm. Um, I don't know that I agree with that unless he doesn't have. Oh, okay, he has a frantic search. Okay, never mind. I'm just bad at the game. I don't understand how the deck works. So yeah, he gets the frantic search. He discards some garbage, including the arrogant worm. Tosses it out with its madness costs. So madness is an ability that when you discard a card, you get to cast it for its special cost, and it's a replacement of discarding. So it doesn't actually go to the graveyard. So frantic search, the way it works is you cast frantic search, you draw 2, discard 2, untap your lands. Frantic search finishes resolving. That's when your madness ability is able to resolve, and then you can pay that 3 mana you just untapped with the frantic search to cast your arrogant worm. So it's just like a complete free roll on an instant 4/4, which is really nice. I bring back some Krovikan Horrors along my Squee and my Ashen Ghoul, which I did not attack with. Oh, because I don't have a Wonder, B as a 4/4. So yeah, not great.
Interesting alternate line there where instead of going for this 4/4, he just holds its spell up and chains out Root Wallet.
Conversely, he just doesn't do it because I think he did all this on his main phase. He just doesn't do anything and then catches me with my pants down when I attack with this Ashen Ghoul. Because as I clearly just demonstrated, I have no idea how this deck works. So he could have just completely got me with that frantic search. I would have expected him to maybe go for survivaling some Basking Walls, but I'm also addicted to doing that because it's so much fun.
It is fun, and you're right. The control player and me.
So much value. So much value.
When you're just like stuck on these lands, but
yeah, the root wall has a madness cost of 0, so like you pay a green, discard it to survival of the fittest, cast it for 0, get a creature, which could be another root wall, pay another green, discard another creature, could be a root wall, cast it for 0, and then continue ad nauseum until you're running out of either green mana or basking root walls. But looks like Chris is going for the wild mongrel here. That card's pretty good too. Don't disagree with that choice at all. And I have nothing relevant in my graveyard. I untap. I see garbage.
You're so well protected, though.
I sure am with my 3/1. Yeah, I guess I decided to pack it in. Yeah, makes sense. All right, so we move on to game 3. The efficacy of my sideboard tech is to be determined. Let's see if we can go a game without either of us mulliganing. Nope. Just kidding. I'm gonna send it back. The cool thing about Survival Madness is like, unlike other survival decks, you don't have to have Survival of the Fittest for that deck to be good. Like, you just
just your creatures are good. They're
yeah,
castable.
yeah, and you've got
Right?
decent draw spells that generate you value. Like, just a
Yeah,
very
you can
very
definitely
solid deck.
long like tempo strategy and just
Mm-hmm.
for your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are you looking to keep here on the Dredge at home side?
I want Zombie Infestation real bad. I want that
Yeah.
real bad. I also want to have built my deck correctly and had more intuitions in it. Um,
Next time.
yes, yeah, I'll get there eventually. So it looks like Chris has got a squee in his hand, but he has 13 in his deck, so it makes sense.
Careful study pitching a squee, not a bad.
Yeah, I got some value there, and I have a. Ooh, that's exactly what I want. Does Chris have the annul? No, he's not even playing annul, so it doesn't matter.
Does he have?
He does have naturalize, but he drops out the wild mongrel there.
He said he does have naturalize.
He does. He has two in his sideboard. I don't know if he brought them in, but
yeah, it seems pretty critical.
it's kind of loose. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got Squee going with Zombie Infestation. Right now, he's got the upper hand, I think, because he's got the Wild Mongrel. Wild Mongrel is just a very powerful card, but I get a free zombie return, effectively, or not a free one, but mostly free.
Yeah, he's got to pitch a card every turn to be able to fight these.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you even choose to, right?
Yeah, which I don't think I do. Like, building up the zombies is much better. Just because it requires him to use more cards. Yeah, Waterfront Mouse is real good. Especially with that Squee in his hand. Like, we're basically at bad parity for
right?
me. No, not it's worse because I have to discard an actual card to make a zombie along with the Squee, and he just has to discard a Squee to get rid of my zombie. So. Oh, it looks like I circular logic the bouncer because I correctly recognize that card just completely wrecks my zombie infestation as the board stands. Yeah. Sitting with one card in hand, got an extra zombie. Skillfully being back my Squee. And I decided to go aggro rather than blocking the Rootwalla, which I think is probably pretty good. I'm sitting at 6 cards, so I can't threshold the Cephalid Coliseum. It seems like I don't know what's in my hand, but I think I probably would discard these 2 cards, untap, bring back the Squee, and then I could activate the Coliseum next turn to get some more looks at some cards.
Yeah, I'll try to hit another Squee or 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if do you think Chris sides out any number of Squees in this match? That doesn't seem right, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about what he sides in. He's sided in the cave-ins.
Decided in the red cards, right?
Yeah, no, that makes Squeeze just so loose otherwise. I guess it's good with the bouncer and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. All right, looks like I did not have a circular logic. I just make a 3rd zombie, and I verify that he's done. Untap with these incredibly drawn zombie depictions of undeadness. Activate my Cephalid Coliseum. Discard Squee, and Squee? No, I don't have the 3rd Squee. I have an Icarid, though. With no other black creatures, so that's not so good.
Could be relevant eventually.
Ooh, the Null Rod to shut off his completely non-existent stuff. Yep.
Zombies in. Taking one out.
Here's a Squee for zombie. Seems like a pretty fair deal. So we're at kind of parity
now
here.
You're in make a zombie a turn, but get a zombie bounced a turn.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So basically, I think the way it works out is Chris spends a blue mana, and I don't. Right? Because I discard 2 Squeeze to make a zombie with zombie infestation. He discards a Squee to Waterfront Bouncer, but he has to pay mana to do that, whereas I don't have to pay mana for my zombie infestation. So slight advantage to me. If we had an advantage, where it would be slightly in my favor.
We lost Carl. Hopefully, he's still recording.
I apparently did not change my mic like I thought I did, and it is actually my headset, which I put up.
All right.
I was
We got
talking to myself, and I basically said that the way this works out is that I discard two squeeze to make a zombie. Chris discards a squee to bounce a zombie, but he has to pay a blue mana, whereas I don't pay any mana at all. Mm-hmm.
It's like mild mongrel in for some damage.
Yeah, you get in where you can.
Okay.
Got my squeeze back.
Building up monster.
Ooh, breakthrough for 2. That's pretty strong. So I get to look at 4 cards and then discard down to 2. So the squeeze are a free roll, another Icarid, and a polluted delta. Nice. Okay. So cracking with my zombies. Bounces 1 for the squee, as we mentioned before. Goes down to 10. We earthquake the table a little bit. Ooh, I have another Colosseum. That's pretty strong. Oh, do I decide to play? That's, I think, a pretty heads up play on my part. Pat myself on the
Yep.
back.
Don't
But
have to get wasted.
yeah, exactly. Don't get wastelanded. Good job, Carl. Well played. Well played. Look at that. Look at that. That skill and that strategy going. Man, what a guy. Past Carl, not current Carl. Current Carl could not do that.
Mhm. So I mean, you just rumble here. Bounce
I
the
don't know.
token.
Chris is really
Where?
choked on green mana. Like he's got that survival in play, but he has a green, which is really limiting.
Mm-hmm. And I think so far just the one squee, which he really wants to keep bouncing with.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to, but that's what he's priced into.
Right. Like if he manages to get just pitch any creature for a second squee, then you
Mm-hmm.
at least survivaling and bouncing every turn.
Yeah. I got the Cephalid Coliseum. I got a lot of looks at a lot of cards. Brought back an Icarid. Icarid's a 3/1 with haste. When it's in your graveyard, you can exile a black creature from your graveyard, put it into play, and then it dies at the end of the turn. Um, so Chris has got an interesting conundrum here. Does he bounce the zombie and get rid of the threat entirely, or does he bounce the Icarid, let me discard it again later, but cost me a black creature from my graveyard? That's a very interesting play. I don't know what you think about that.
I would go for the token, the permanent removal.
Hmm.
You don't have another black creature in your yard right now.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. I feel like hitting the Icarid's pretty good, but because it does save you a life as well, which is not insignificant. But the token does go away entirely, which is very relevant.
Right.
Yeah, so it looks like he bounced the Icarid. So we'll see if I'm correct. If
I'm
Chris
not
wins, I'm a
sure.
genius. If he doesn't win, then I'm a genius because I won anyway. So it's really a win-win situation for me. Okay, so we
Yeah.
got an Ashen, we got a Croaking Horror with a squeeze, so I get to bring back my Croaking Horror. This is a really tough spot to Chris. I can just wait to make a bunch of zombies every single turn. So, the way this works is I get to bring my Croaking Horror back at the end of my turn, discard it again with another squeeze at the end of his turn, then discard the Croaking Horror again, and then bring it back at the end of my turn. Like I basically get like half a zombie for free every turn. It's really powerful.
As well. Oh, looks like Wonder just hit the yard there.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. And I don't think Chris has
Off of this.
wonders, so I can't imagine that being relevant at all.
But he does have multiple squeeze now.
Yeah, but he's still got that one green mana. Like that's just so rough. Like he's just so choked.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I,
what do you get? He goes for a root wall here.
mm-hmm.
I'm
Which
not
I think,
sure.
yeah, I don't know if he should have done
No,
that a few turns ago, maybe. But
wall.
again, he's choked on that
Right.
green mana, so he can't really like threaten blocks the root wall. I don't know. That's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. You can just dump it into play, which is not bad.
Yeah, you can. You can. There's the second forest. I think if that,
By pitching it to Mongrel, I mean.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That second force was there 2 turns ago. This is an entirely different game. I am in much more danger than I am right now.
What do you think about like you put the root wall into play at end of turn rather
Mm-hmm.
than holding it like pumps this turn? It's like attacking versus pumping.
That seems pretty good. Yeah, you just play kind of a control game. Yeah. So I make a zombie. Looks like I'm gonna block something, or I just flex on him and show out how to make zombies.
Well, you said you're gonna make a zombie on his turn.
Yeah, I sure did. I sure did. I was gonna make it differently, but I guess that works too. Okay, so he pops out.
Didn't see what you blocked. I think you're discussing like you don't necessarily have to one or the other until a block is declared.
Right. Yeah. Oh, we were discussing if I was asking Chris if he wanted to bounce my zombie before blocks, and he did. So he discards a squee to the Waterfront Bouncer, and then presumably discards the second squee to the Waterfront Bouncer, or to the I'm sorry, the Wild Mongrel. Which means that he taps. Okay.
Yeah, he's figuring out pumping
Pumping
plus
Root Wallet. Okay, yeah. I lost track of what was going on there. Yep.
So it's in for 5.
Yep. I dropped you to 7. I think I can just kill him here because well, I guess I don't kill him if I bring back the Ashen Ghoul. I guess I can if I discard the Ashen Ghoul. If I bring back the Icarid, I then just attack for 7 and he dies. So that's probably game. I get all my squeeze back, which is pretty good, but
yeah, that's 7 in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's at 8.
That's not how that works, yeah. Oh, could I have just made another zombie? I think I could have made another zombie. I think I have another card. So he discards Squee.
Oh, yeah. You would have needed 2 cards, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know that I had the cards. So that's something else. We got hit with an earthquake. I don't think either of us died to it though, so that's good. It's a lot of extra damage we weren't expecting. Chris would have. He's gonna be at 1, but
these zombies keep like trouncing in and out of the graveyard.
Oh, okay. So he gets a Bassmoot Walla, casts it with Madness.
Trying to go to blocks.
He is not allowed to block there. I have flying. Carl, I have flying. You can't block that Icarid. Carl. Yeah, all right, so I guess he blocked it.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah, I guess we got out the wonder. So Chris gets a free wonder activation there. That's pretty good. Gets his squeeze back. He does, but it is not currently in his graveyard, which is very relevant.
Can he do 7 to you? Probably not through.
I can make at least 2 zombies. And my zombies have flying. So even if he does get wonder, if I correctly remember that I have flying, I can block his creatures. Because he only has 1 Waterfront Bouncer activation. Yeah, I think I was doing the math here, and I could not figure out a way that Chris kills me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many cards he has in hand, but
yeah.
Either way, you're gonna have a blocker for the mongrel.
Yeah. Okay, so he discards a really pretty Wild Mongrel, gets a wonder, and I go through my graveyard and realize I have a wonder. Whoops. And we discuss how I don't understand how the game of Magic the Gathering works, and flying is the most powerful ability in the game, and I should have won. And we just go from there.
Interestingly, Carl, though, if he wouldn't have been able to block, he would have gone to 1, and then has another attacker here.
That's true. You would have an extra wall to attack with, yeah. Even still, he only gets me to. How many cards do I have in my graveyard? No, because the Icarid would have. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I would have lost. I don't know how many cards I have in my hand. It looks like I have 2, but I might have 3. If I have 3, I don't lose. If I have 2, I do lose.
It's like you have more than 1 sleeved card there.
I definitely do. I have 3 squeeze and at least 2 cards in my hand, but I might have a third one.
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to watch back the replay and we'll figure it out, past tense how it worked, but
yeah, that's like potentially you could have missed lethal there.
But also he might have lethal here. Yeah, that's weird.
He's lethal on the swing back here.
He does. Oh, I had 3 cards. So I didn't lose that game. I didn't lose this game, yeah. So I had 3 cards. I would have made 2 zombies end of his turn, and then I had enough to make zombies on my turn, so I just wouldn't have died to the best one.
Additional root wall is also not 7 damage here, right? So
Correct. If he should be at 1, and then there should be a second root wall in play. He doesn't have the green mana to pump both of them, notably. But if he did, that's only 6 damage. I could block 3 creatures with my 3 zombies, and then not die, and then kill him on the crackback, which I think we figured out here.
Mm-hmm.
Moral of the story is Magic the Gathering is A, a hard game, B, discard decks are hard, and C, flying is overpowered.
Yeah.
That was an interesting game. Very interesting game. Well, yeah.
It's like Dredge and Legacy, you know, this Dredge at home deck. If you're playing out of your graveyard, maybe spread that out in front of you.
Yeah, that'd probably be good play. I do plan on playing this deck again, so I will probably make sure I take that under advisement. So I appreciate that the piece of advice. Looks like, yeah, Chris brought did he side out of survival? That can't be right.
And a basic land. Interesting.
Yeah. Brexing naturalizes and Cavens, yeah. Oh no, that naturalizes that survival is in his deck. I guess yeah, we didn't see what he brought in, but yeah. Interesting.
Those were in
those were not sideboarded yet. Those are in his deck and he just took them out. Okay, cool.
Fun decks.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, it's a zombie infestation versus survival. Who can squeeze way to the top?
And it looks like I squeezed the most, so
you did trigger the most squeeze in that matchup.
Okay, I appreciate you clarifying there, because I was about to say if we were still doing phrasing, I might be in trouble there, but I think we're good. Well, very interesting match. Power of Squee Recursion. Clearly, what this shows is zombie infestation is more powerful than survival of the fittest. So, you heard it here first. Go out, get your zombie infestations, trade with your survival of the fittest, and make some zombies and have some fun.
Yeah, maybe more intuitions is more.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at this deck list again, I feel like the breakthroughs could just straight up be intuitions, and then that could be way better. Yeah. Maybe the careful slates. I don't know. There's got to be something there. I was talking with a gentleman from New England who mentioned Marine Biomancer, who mentioned that Frantic Search is really good in this deck too, which I think I agree with. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll have to poke around with this a little bit, and we'll see another. I'm sure we'll see this on camera again at some point. But any final thoughts on the match?
The match was great. Disappointed we didn't see Psychotog show up at all.
That's true. We did not see Dr. Teeth show up. Yeah.
Someday.
Someday.
In a future
match. Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 to be fair, so I could see that being a thing. But all right. Excellent. Well, as we have said in the past, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Again, I'm not your dad. I'm pretty sure Ben's not your dad. I can't speak entirely for him, but either way, if we are, we have some really awkward conversations to have. Otherwise, for Ben, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, peace.